Republican members of Congress are celebrating their successful rescue efforts of an American mother and her young children stranded in Afghanistan after President Joe Biden's chaotic military evacuation abandoned up to 200 American citizens and thousands of Afghan special immigrant visa applicants. U.S. officials confirmed it was the first successful government-led land evacuation since the withdrawal effort began. Oklahoma conservative Representative Markwayne Mullin posted a photo on Twitter Monday morning of an American citizen named Mariam surrounded by her 3 small children. Mullin said he had been contacted by a friend a little over 3 weeks ago asking if he could do anything to help the young mother and her 3 children, who also hold U.S. passports. Mariam had gone to visit her parents for the first time with the kids and became trapped in Kabul when the Taliban overran the city. We left 2 weeks ago today to get her, the children, and others out, the lawmaker wrote. The father of 6 said his team worked around the clock and encountered numerous setbacks but persevered. Mariam and her children, Mullin said, came close to death multiple times including again today, but he didn't elaborate further. This morning at 5:32 etc. they got out of Afghanistan, praise the Lord. Mullin wrote. He added, there are still many families like Mariam's who are desperately wanting and waiting to get out. American cannot rest until we get them all home. U.S. officials announced Monday morning that a U.S. citizen and their relatives escaped Afghanistan through an overland route to a neighboring country. Mullin's office confirmed to DailyMail.com that it was Mariam and her young family. She and her children successfully departed Afghanistan using an overland route and were met by U.S. Embassy staff at the border. The State Department said in a statement to Fox News that it facilitated the safe departure of 4 Americans from Afghanistan and added the Taliban was aware and did not impede their transit. The official would not speak to details of the evacuation or to the country in which they arrived, citing security reasons and the need to preserve the viability of the route for possible future efforts. The evacuation is the first overland extraction the U.S. government has confirmed since it ended its air evacuation effort last week with the final withdrawal of American forces from Afghanistan. Representative Ronnie Jackson of Texas also celebrated Mariam's rescue on Twitter Monday morning and revealed she was one of his own constituents from Texas' 13th District. After 2 weeks and multiple life-threatening attempts, I am overjoyed to share that 4 U.S. citizens from #TX13 were part of the first successful ground evacuation since the U.S. left Kabul. Jackson wrote, "Thank you to Corey Mills and the other patriots on his team for saving these brave Americans." Mills, a combat veteran running for a House seat in Florida, is in the Middle East apparently aiding in the covert rescue effort. He was pictured at the Afghanistan border with Mariam and her family. Meanwhile, the Biden administration hit a snag in its diplomatic mission to rescue Americans and Afghan allies still stranded after negotiations between the State Department and Taliban officials reportedly broke down over the weekend. 6 private charter planes sent to the city of Mazar-i-Sharif to evacuate at least 1,000 people have been grounded 260 miles north of Kabul. The flights were chartered by Mercury One, a charity founded by right-wing commentator Glenn Beck, Newsweek reports. Beck's fleet of 2 Airbus 340s and 4 Boeing 737s from Cam Air are sitting empty in the city of Mazar-i-Sharif as their passengers, including at least 142 Americans. One NGO official told the outlet the remaining passengers are special immigrant visa applicants and that everyone is waiting in their safe houses for clearance for takeoff from the Taliban amid the diplomatic stalemate. On Sunday, Reuters reported that the delay had been caused by Biden administration officials not telling Taliban leaders it had approved the departures of the chartered flights from Mazar-i-Sharif. An exasperated flight organizer hit out at the State Department over the fiasco, saying, they need to be held accountable for putting these people's lives in danger. Other groups trying to organize their own chartered flights have also hit out at the State Department, with Rick Clay from private rescue firm Plan B claiming it's the only thing stopping him fulfilling his brief. Two other organizers have also torn into the State Department, with one, who didn't give their name, telling Fox, "This is zero place to be negotiating with American lives. Those are people standing on the tarmac and all it takes is a *********ing phone call. If one life is lost as a result of this, the blood is on the White House's hands. The blood is on their hands. It is not the Taliban that is holding this up, as much as it sickens me to say that, it is the United States government." Further details on the reason for the delay in discussions has not been disclosed. Although Blinken jetted to Qatar on Sunday to discuss the issue with leaders there, as the situation developed over the weekend, Texas Representative Michael McCaul told Fox News earlier Sunday that the Taliban was holding the planes hostage. "We have 6 airplanes at Mazar Sharif Airport, 6 airplanes with American citizens on them as I speak, also with these interpreters, and the Taliban is holding them hostage for demands right now. The state has cleared these flights and the Taliban will not let them leave the airport," he detailed. McCaul went on to claim that the flights were being used by the Islamic extremist group as a bargaining chip with the U.S., in return for full recognition. The top Republican on the U.S. House Foreign Affairs Committee said that since the total troop U.S. withdrawal from Afghanistan, no Americans have been evacuated from the country. "Since we left the country on Friday, how many Americans have gotten out of Afghanistan?" anchor Chris Wallace asked. "Since we pulled out, how many Afghan allies have gotten out since the Taliban was in complete control of the country?" "Zero," McCaul shot back. "I'm sorry, the answer to your question is zero. But due to congressional efforts, at least 4 people who were stranded can be counted as safe."